Hey guys, and here in today's video we are going to be going over the 7 best NBA teams that were not able to win a championship. This list is all in my opinion, and also if you guys disagree with me, let me know in the comments what you guys would do differently and who are your 7 best teams that weren't able to win a championship. And I will have a couple number 1 mentions before the number 1 spot. Now let's get into the video. Number 7, the 2007 Phoenix Suns. One of the most exciting teams in the 2000s. It looked like the Suns were headed for their first NBA championship. Two-time MVP award winner Steve Nash and a young physical scoring machine of Amari Stoudemire and the all-around talent of Shawn Marion and Joe Johnson. This team looked poised to win its first NBA title. A team that won 61 games in 2007 and captured the number 2 seed in the West. It breezed by the Lakers in the first round, who are always a thorn in their side, 4-1. Going into the second round, the Suns matched up with a 58-24 San Antonio Spurs. Trailing 2-1 to the Spurs in the second round, the Suns were on their way to winning Game 4 when San Antonio's Robert Horry checked Steve Nash into the scorer's table. A little skirmish ensued this, and due to the NBA rules at this time, Stoudemire and fellow Suns starter Boris Diaw were suspended 1 game for technically leaving the bench area. They stepped out to see if Nash was okay, and Phoenix lost Game 5 because of that. The Spurs ended up winning the series in Game 6 in San Antonio. Number 6, the 1995 Orlando Magic. The Magic were led by a young big man by the name of Shaquille O'Neal and a very talented young point guard also by the name of Penny Hardaway. They both were taking the Eastern Conference by storm in the mid-1990s. They had a 39-2 home record in 1995, which put them second in the NBA history books. Each series got progressively harder for them in the playoffs, though. In round 1, they defeated the Dominic Wilkins-led Boston Celtics 3-1. In round 2, they were able to take down the returning Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls 4-2. Round 3 hit and took them 7 games, but they did defeat the Pacers, who were led by Reggie Miller at the time. But in the finals, they were no match for Hakeem Olajuwon and the Houston Rockets as they got swept 4-0, ending a magical season for the Magic, and that's why the Magic are coming in at the number 6 spot. Number 5, the 1996 Seattle SUPERSONIGS. The Gary Payton and Shawn Kemp tandem were one of the deadliest duos in the 1990s. It took some time, but in 1996 they finally reached the NBA Finals. Kemp was a double-double machine and Payton was a 20-point-per-game scorer. Also, Gary Payton was an elite lockdown defender. In the first 2 rounds in the 1996 playoffs, it was a breeze for the SuperSonics, beating Sacramento 3-1, sweeping the reigning champion Rockets in round 2, and in round 3 was more of a challenge for the Sonics. It took them 7 games, but they were able to defeat the Utah Jazz, who were just as talented with Karl Malone and John Stockton. The 1996 finals came around as the Sonics had to face the Chicago Bulls. This was Michael Jordan's first full year back from retirement. Seattle fell behind the Bulls 3-0, but Kemp had 2 monster games in games 4 and 5, forcing the Bulls to win in 6 games. It looked like the start of a Sonics dynasty, but similar to their future team, that being the 2012 Thunder, never got back to the NBA Finals. Number 4, the 2009 Cleveland Cavaliers. With the best record in the NBA that season with 66 wins, the Cavs were led by a young phenomenon by the name of LeBron James, who was determined to win an NBA title. This team was very flashy, but a little bit cocky. They were known for their pre-game dances, including LeBron James' infamous chalk throw at the scorer's table. 2 years ago, the team lost in the NBA Finals to a well-experienced San Antonio Spurs, but this year looked different for LeBron's Cavs. The team pounced through the first 2 rounds, going 8-0 and sweeping both the Pistons in the first round and the Hawks in the second round, and this team looked absolutely unstoppable. But then came the Orlando Magic, who led by their young, gifted center by the name of Dwight Howard. LeBron James looked like a possessed player in this series, averaging 38 points, 8 assists, 8 rebounds in about 45 minutes per game. But even with his historical stat line, it just wasn't enough for LeBron. With no supporting cast, his team lost to the Magic in 6 games, and LeBron started to think about leaving Cleveland in the future after his team's performance in this series. Number 3, the 1993 Phoenix Suns. One of the most cockiest players of all time, named Charles Barkley, who thought he was the best player on the planet in his first year in Phoenix. People were annoyed by his attitude, but his numbers backed his statement up. In his first year in Phoenix, he averaged 25 points and 12 rebounds and later on won the MVP award. He led the Suns to 62 wins that year and an NBA Finals appearance. But unfortunately for Barkley and the Suns, they ran into Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, who thought by most people at the time was the best player in the NBA. Jordan and the Bulls won the previous 2 finals and were looking for their first three-peat. Barkley averaged an outstanding 27 points and 13 rebounds and also 6 freaking assists for a power forward in that series. He did all he could, but was only able to win 2 games for the Suns in that series. Credit, they were both in Chicago, but getting swept at home didn't help their case for NBA champions as Jordan and the Bulls defeated Barkley and the Suns in 6. Coming in at the number 2 spot, we have the 1998 Utah Jazz. This team was the best team in an absolutely loaded Western Conference. Tied with the Bulls with the best record in the NBA that year with a 62-20 record, the Jazz captured the first seed in the Western Conference. With 3 60-plus win teams and 2 56-win teams, the West looked like any team could represent them in the finals. With the dynamic duo of John Stockton and Karl Malone and also winning the Western Conference the year before, it looks like the Jazz were favorites to win it all. In round 1, the Rockets gave the Jazz a run for their money by going to a Game 5 and the Jazz closing out an 84-70 victory, moving on to the second round. There they met the 56-win Spurs, who were no match for the Jazz, as the Jazz made light work of the Spurs, winning the series 4-1. In round 3, they met the 61-win Lakers, who looked like they could give the Jazz a real run for the money after going 7-2 in the first 2 rounds, but that just wasn't the case, as the Jazz steamrolled past the Lakers by sweeping them in 4. That series was just absolutely dominated by Karl Malone, who averaged 30 points and 12 boards along with 5 assists. So there it was for the Jazz, who had a shot at revenge at the team that beat them in the finals the year before, the Chicago Bulls. This was one of the most entertaining finals to date. Despite it only going to 6 games, this series is more entertaining than some 7-game NBA finals. Every game was competitive. It looked like this series could easily have went to 7 games, but one shot will always be remembered by Jazz players and fans, and you could just see what happened for yourself.
Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead.
Our 4 honorable mentions start here with the New York Knicks in the 1993-1994 season, who were led by Patrick Ewing. The second one is the 2012 Oklahoma City Thunder, who consisted of the big 3 of Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden. The 1992 Trailblazers, whose best player at the time was Clyde Drexler. And the fourth and final honorable mention was the 1998 Indiana Pacers, who were led by one of the best shooters ever in the game in Reggie Miller. And the number 1 spot, in my opinion, of the best team that was not able to win an NBA championship goes to the 2002 Sacramento Kings. An all-around Kings team that featured Mike Bibby, Peja Stojakovic, Vlade Divac, and Chris Webber. This well-rounded lineup looked like a legit threat to Shaq and Kobe's early 2000 Lakers. The Kings went 7-2 in the first 2 rounds that year, but the regular season and those 2 rounds won't be remembered. But will be remembered will be the 2002 Western Conference Finals. Games 1 and 5 were special, but not too special, as the Kings took a 3-2 lead over the Lakers. There has been a plethora of conspiracy theories that the NBA and refs rigged Game 6 to force the Lakers in Game 7 to see the Lakers in the 2002 finals to get better ratings and generate more money. There is various videos on the internet that show what I mean by conspiracy theories, and they all make sense. In Game 6, the Lakers were awarded 18 more free throws than the Kings in the fourth quarter alone, and some of the fouls weren't even close to being called fouls. Despite the refs giving the Lakers a clear advantage and rigging the game for the Lakers to win Game 6, 106-102 to force a Game 7 back in Sacramento, where Kobe and Shaq combined for 103 minutes played, 65 points, and also led the Lakers to a 112-106 victory over the Kings to make an NBA Finals appearance. The Lakers went on to win the Finals that year, but that's not what the world remembers for the Finals. All people remember is how the Sacramento Kings got cheated out of an NBA Finals appearance thanks to David Stern and the NBA refs. Alright, so I really hope you guys enjoyed that video, and I hope you guys would like to see more videos like that in the future. And if you did enjoy it, let me know by leaving a thumbs up down below, and also let me know in the comments if you want to see more of these, and also what type of videos, like topics to do in the NBA or anything like that. So that will be for me. I really hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys have a great day. I love every single one of you, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.